Good morning, America. This is your favorite alien here on the afternoon of Sunday, September 8th, 2024. Well, today I'm going to do a special commentary on your upcoming, uh, what do you call that? Chaos, but you guys call it a debate. There's nothing to be debated about there on Tuesday, September 10th, between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump. And here you got Donald J. Trump saying, "Oh, well, they committed a coup over there on the Democratic side." You tried to commit a coup. You didn't succeed, but they have. And what you don't understand, and this is my commentary today on both of these people, what Donald J. Trump doesn't understand or comprehend is the Democrats have committed a coup a lot of times, and the Republicans too. There was a coup committed in 1876 that left Tilden out of the presidency, and Rutherford B. Hayes got the presidency. And they called it the Compromise of 1877. That was actually a coup, people. A coup. Okay? Then you had the 1940 election, which was a coup. The Democratic Party nominee should have been Mr. Gardner, the Vice President of the United States, because Mr. Roosevelt didn't become a candidate. He didn't do anything until the convention came around. And then there was a coup done. Whether he was part of it, well, that's something that nobody, unless the DNC can surrender the documents from that convention that proves that Roosevelt had a hand in the underhanded shenanigans that went on in that convention that made him the Democratic nominee. Yeah, that was crazy, huh? And in 1968, with Johnson, that was another coup, because I don't think Johnson would have personally reelected to say what he said. It was a coercion or something underneath that came up and said, "I will not accept my nomination for my party for President of the United States, another term." And the way he said that speech, I know he was disgusted, because the underhanded took him out of the presidency. Have no idea who that was. Although some of the, you ever heard of the ancient alien theory? Well, you had these conspiracy theories before them. And by the way, that was the year that the chariots of the gods came in 68. Yeah. That said that Robert F. Kennedy had something to do with the shenanigans so he could run. And he did later. But as it turned out, everybody forgets that Mr. Johnson still controlled the Democratic Party. And at the end, after all the assassinations and everything that came out in 68, he put his own personal stamp on the Democratic Party by electing HHH, or Hubert Horatio Humphrey, and Edmund Muskie. Well, but they had a chance of beating Richard Nixon, except for Mr. Dixiecrat, George Wallace, who muddled the place a bit there, and Richard Nixon got California. He had 261 votes. And he needed that state, so it gave him 301, and he won the presidency with 43% of the vote. So here, between Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump, you got two very disgusting people running for president. Neither one should be president, but you guys always pick the sorriest people to run for president, don't you? Anyway, here's the problem, Americans. You got about 334 million people. And of that, that's national, okay? That's not including resident aliens or illegal aliens. You have to add a few million to that. But say you got 334 million Americans. And say you got 70 million under the age of 18. Could be more than that, but let's say a conservative figure of 70 million under the age of 18. So that means that leaves you with what, 70 at 334. So that would leave you 264 million. Okay. And you got about 40 to 60 million, and let's say 60 million extremist rightist Republicans and extremist leftist Democrats, which means Kamala Harris and Donald J. Trump. So say you have that. So if you take the 70 million or 60 million, so that's 120 million out of that 264. That leaves about 144 million people that will not vote. But out of that 144, say you got another, for this election, say another 20 million that'll go to either side, so 60 and 60. So you got 80 million that are voting for Democrats and Republicans. And that includes, independents in that number there. So you got, say, Trump getting 80 million and Harris getting about 80 million. So you still got over 100 million people that didn't vote or will not vote. If you had those voting for, say, Freddie the Freeloader, that would tell the government that you mean business. But I won't see a single vote out there for Freddie the Freeloader in the write-in candidates. That would make it the first American election that I've seen in your history that means something. Your other elections up to this point mean absolutely a damn thing. Nothing. Because you are, as the Republicans and the Democrats call you, oh, those dumb American people. Yeah. So why don't you be an American people for a change? Those 100 plus million people, and vote for Freddie the Freeloader and tell both parties we mean business. We don't mean extremist Republicans, extremist Democrats, leftists, rightists, liberals, conservatives, independents, centrists. We want you to run the country the way our ancestors made it to run. And we got to fix our documents to make it a better country. But none of you will do that. So therefore, I predict that in this election, you'll have a candidate that'll get about 267, 260.